Okay, so our machine went all the way back up to 373 degrees. I'm charging 8 ounces of Mexico organic back into the drum, and I'm cutting back the drum speed to 7. Obviously, when I turn on the temperature, start the igniter and turn on the gas, I do not want it to be as high as I had it for 3 pounds. So once I start it up, I'm going to go ahead and start at about 1. Not sure how well you can see, but I've got the pressure on at 1 kPa. I've got the airflow at almost 2. The rate of rise is fairly fast. And I forgot to reset the timer, trademark of me. But I think probably I can cut the gas back to about 3/4 kPa for this roast. Keep it close to the same time as the previous roast, about 9.5–10 minutes. Not sure how well you can see from this angle, but obviously with 8 ounces of coffee in the drum, you can see it's not taking as much room up in the viewing window. We're also climbing at a little bit faster rate than I want, so I'm going to bump it down to about 1/3 of a kPa. Keep in mind that on the OROs, that even though it's a double wall drum, which does contain the heat longer, and it's encased in a frame that's cast iron, it also has a cast iron front and back plate, so the heat is pretty sustained in there. So cutting it back to 1/3 of a kPa probably was a little overkill. I'm going to go back to about 1/2 of a kPa. We've got the roasting temperature at 363. We've got the hot air temperature at 394 and climbing, and we're probably at about 2.5 minutes since I forgot to hit the timer. Okay, so we're basically at about 5 minutes. We're at 380 degrees on the roasting temperature, and we should be starting to go into first crack here in a moment or so, or less. I'm bumping up the hot air to 3. I don't know if you can see the beans at all, but they haven't gone into first crack yet, but they're getting really close. In that 380, 390 range on the bean temperature. One thing a lot of people worry about is on these roasters is because of where the placement of the thermal couple is for the beans, how well does it do on the bean temperature with small amounts. Well, here you're seeing with 8 ounces of beans, it's maintaining that level right about accurate, to where we should start seeing it go into first crack in the next 5 or, yeah, I think I just heard it. Obviously with 8 ounces in a big drum like this, you're not going to hear a lot of pronounced cracks for 8 ounces. Yeah. And you can see I've got the rate of rise going fairly slow because I had it a little faster than I wanted it to begin with. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to bump up the drum speed, which is going to give the roast a little bit more momentum. And you might notice that in the temperature. And yep, it's definitely going into first crack right now. And we're going to go ahead and take this roast up to about the same place we took the last one, somewhere around 9.5 minutes if we can, up to about 412 to 415 degrees. Looking very good. Don't know how well you can see it there with the camera. I'll take you over to the viewing window now. You still don't get that great of a view here with the angle that I'm showing you the viewing window. So I'll try to take a couple samples out and show you But I went ahead and bumped up the drum speed to 90%. And part of the reason why is on such a small load as 8 ounces, the drum speed needs to be bumped up a little higher to get better samples in the spoon. But we're at about 8 minutes, 385 degrees, and we'll probably bring this to a 9.5 minute roast, about 412 degrees temperature. The hot air temperature is 403. But this goes to show you how, in conjunction with the airflow and the gas pressure, you can really control small roasts. If you don't want to take them fast, you can really slow them down. As you can see, my temperature is only raising about, I don't know, I'd have to analyze it, maybe 5 degrees every 30 seconds, maybe less. So yeah, maybe 5 degrees every 30 seconds or so at this point. So I'm only 390 degrees at 9 minutes. I'm actually a little slower than the last roast, but that's okay. I want to bring it to the same temperature, and I don't want to bump up the gas at this point. I just want to let it ride its way through. And so it'll still be under a 10-minute roast going up to 412 degrees. I actually bumped up the airflow to about 4. We're now at 395 degrees, and right at about 10 minutes. So I've slowed it down a little more than I probably should have, but not to worry, it's still going to be a beautiful roast. And we're going to take it up to about 410, 412 degrees. But it just shows you how much control you have over this roaster. That a roaster this big, you can go from roasting 7 to 8 pounds all the way down to 8 ounces. In all honesty, I think I could go down to roasting 4 ounces, but I can't seem to bring myself to putting that small amount in the roaster. But I honestly think you could bring it down to that level. So we're almost at the point that I want to drop the beans. So I'm going to focus it now toward the cooling tray, and we'll go from there. Okay, turning on the cooling tray. Here we go, 8 ounces. That didn't take very long. Get rid of that load. And there's not much to spin around, but it's working. As you can see, there's not a lot of beans to push around there in the drum, but it clearly did 8 ounces to a nice medium roast. We kept it right around 10 minutes, up to about the 405 to 412 degree mark. And it just shows you the flexibility you have in this ORO 8. There you go, 8 ounces of Mexican organic, nice medium roast.